recently in Southeast Newport News. We've heard a little bit about it. And so we're worried about the continuing coal dust, different kinds of toxins that come from some of the industries in the southeast area, and what this is doing for the children that go to school there. A lot of them have inhalers. And so the question is, will you work to have air monitors installed? What measures will you take to protect the children and others? And then we'll start with Mrs. Penny this time.
Well, this is a little near and dear to my heart because one of my children has severe bronchial asthma and has from the day he was born. And yes, we do need to put monitors in there because it is essential for them to have good quality air to breathe. And they can also add additional monitors or pieces. What I have is called an electrostatic by Honeywell air cleaner on my system. And I put that on there in 1989 after my son had already had bronchial pneumonia 5 times before he was 1. So that would be another great thing, an asset to put on the heating and air conditioning system in Achievable Dreams School is this electrostatic air cleaner, and that will help keep the air very clean because it did for my son, and I never had to run an independent air cleaner in his room after that.
Thank you. Mrs. Gibson?
Well, I wasn't raised in 23607, but I was raised in 23605. And I'm not sure if my asthma came from the air, but I will tell you that you do not know the feeling of asthma until your chest is caving in and you feel like you're gonna die. I have had a friend as a child who was raised in 23607 who died from asthma. With that being said, I 100% support air filters, air monitoring. In addition, I think it's important for us to implement different things. We can review the air with different projects that's down there. Air filters is key. And for those, I'm all for what can you do in your home. Humidifiers work, air filters work. Education is the key. And my time is up. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much for the question. You know, this is an important question to everybody in Newport News, but definitely the people in the Southeast community. I'm 100% for the idea of air monitors being put down there, but I'm also 100% for the idea that we need to really study what all the causes of some of the health problems are down there. We need to look at kind of what are the traffic patterns. You know, when 664 was built, it didn't seem like it was really built with any consideration of the people who live down there. And we need to really kind of look at kind of what the patterns are of all the streets that come in and out of that community and how that's better going to be suited maybe with new traffic pattern solutions. Also cleaner ways of actually not only just air filters, but also kind of looking into the homes in the areas, new construction areas, and make it as clean energy as it possibly can. Investing in that kind of clean energy down there is going to make a difference long term for the entire area of Southeast Newport News, but also it's a good step for the entire community as a whole.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ross?
Anyone driving towards the tunnel on 664 sees those mountains of coal. And maybe one of the things we can do is require more watering of that coal so the dust won't be flying around as much, and also maybe more covering on the coal trains to limit the amount of dust that's getting into the air. We can do things immediately like this that can limit the dust. We got to deal with the issue at hand, but I would be for doing that. Thank you, and I'm for the air monitors.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Wallace?
Yes, I am for the air monitors to be installed in the Southeast District of Newport News. I've been working again in collaboration with the Southeast Care Coalition for several years now, and through their studies, some of the data they collected pointed to a lot of the toxins not only coming from the coal pier and the interstate, but from the mica company that's been in our community for several decades, as well as the old Chase Bag company. So studies are currently being done in collaboration with the EPA through the Southeast Care Coalition project. As a council member, what I would work to do is support and fully back citizen-led initiatives like that, because no one knows better what's going on in the community but the citizens. and the residents of that community.
Yes, I definitely support the air monitors in the southeast community. When I worked there in the 90s, you used to see them watering the coal terminals often, and I don't go as often now, but I don't see that anymore. So I think that we need to try to find out from the company how often they do this and see if there is some way to change the amount of times or how the frequency of how they do that. Also, I think that controlling that goes back to, like she said, the chase bag, and the city has a part of the chase bag factory, and to make sure that we are actually understudied with that to make sure that there aren't contaminants on there. But I think more importantly that we do need to get more funding from the Environment Protection Agency out of Washington, D.C., because they would actually fund this, because the data that they have collected from the Southeast Coalition and from Sierra Club indicates what the problem is. So we just need to find a way to address it. The problem is already blatantly obvious.
Mr. Jenkins?
I support air monitors being installed. I think it's an important first step towards solving this problem and identifying the root causes. I was amazed that we were having this conversation 7 years ago, and we're still having it now, though.
Yeah.
We need to have action to get those monitors in place. This is public health. It needs to be made a priority. I also believe that if air filters, air cleaners will help in that community, I'm all in favor of them. But until we really identify the problem, the root cause of the problem, our solutions are going to be hit and miss. We definitely need to take action now, though, rather than waiting. I believe in working with the Southeast Care Coalition and the EPA to get this problem fixed.
Thank you very much. I think we finished everybody, right?